Alrighty, hello everybody. Happy Monday. I hope everyone's had a wonderful day so far. Now you're probably sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, what do you want, Freya? Why are you on my screen in video form? Well, I have decided to go on a bit of a dreaming boot camp. I'm just going to call it that. A Monday motivation dreaming boot camp. So a few weeks ago, kind of wasn't feeling myself. Felt like I was definitely losing my spark, and I really, really needed to get my vibe back. I was just kind of coasting. I just felt like I was coasting through day to day life, and I'm not a coaster. I don't like doing that. I am someone who very much yearns for sense of purpose and what's next, and I always like to feel like I'm being productive. I can't sit still. I get itchy feet. I'm a gypsy at heart. Anyway, I wasn't okay with that. I didn't want to be mediocre. I wanted to be the best I possibly could be. So many months ago, I stumbled upon this book. Actually, no, end of last year, I actually bought this book, Your Dream Life Starts Here, from Kiki K, written by a wonderful woman called Christina Carlson. I brought it for my mother for Christmas because I thought it would be a fabulous present. It was. I almost kept it for myself. And then even though she said I could borrow her copy, I was like, no, mum, I'm a book fanatic, love books. So I needed my own copy. So I read it, and it's super inspirational. And I thought it would be the best tool that I could use to really make myself feel like I was staying on track, and taking action on what it is that I really value and what it is that I really want to achieve in my life. And one thing that I absolutely love is inspiring others, encouraging others, and helping others. So if you are feeling like you're in a rut and you feel like you are lacking something, or you're just kind of coasting through life, or even if you just feel like you're mediocre, you're living a mediocre life and you know that you can do better, or even if you just struggle to get out of bed on Monday mornings, or out of bed in general, because I love bed, we all do. So even if it is you just want something extra, follow along. Every Monday I'm going to show up and I will be dissecting each chapter, hopefully in bite-sized chunks. I like to waffle on a tangent. I love to talk. So hopefully I don't chew your ear off and you guys make it through. I really just want to keep it really simple. And the cool thing about this book is at the end of each chapter there's exercises, so you can put a pen to paper and you can make your dreams something tangible and something real, and you can put it up on your vision board, you can stick it on your wall, back of your toilet door, whatever, and you can really see what it is that you want to achieve, because the dream that you have and you want to achieve today might be different to something you want to do in 12 months time. So but there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's fabulous. The more dreams better, right? So basically this book was written by Christina because she has a dream to empower millions of people to basically bring their own dreams to life. And I love that. I'm all about that. And I am going to be embarking on this journey for myself. And it's always fun when you have other people along with you. So feel free to tune on in. Otherwise, ignore me. I'm going to be here for another 3 minutes chatting away. So, but basically, the first chapter of this book, it's called Open Your Heart and Dream Without Limits. Pretty cool stuff. So basically, one thing that's at the very beginning of the book, it says, forgive me, I'm going to be reading from notes and stuff. But basically, your dream life, whatever that means for you, is a life you love, consciously designed by you for you. Pretty cool. It's all designed by you for you. It's not about creating the perfect life, and it's not about living someone else's life. It's all about becoming something more, not something else. It's about progress, not perfection. And your version of perfect is completely different to somebody else's version of perfect. So just because it looks like someone else is excelling in their life doesn't mean that you have to match that. You don't have to look like them. You don't have to do what they are doing just to succeed. Success for some people might be as simple as making their bed in the morning. You've succeeded for the day. Success for other people, it could be the world is your oyster. Like, basically what I'm trying to say is, just because something as small as baking that brownie you've always wanted to make, or painting that picture you've always wanted to paint, or doing that class in photography you've always wanted to take. Whatever it is, don't compare yourself to others. But one thing that I always try and remind myself is that success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently, which is why I am going to be doing this weekly so that I can keep myself accountable and hopefully have other people follow along for the journey. So please feel free, message me with any questions, or even just to have a chat, or even just to share some crazy ass dreams with me. I love to hear it, because I'll be there saying, yeah, you go, Glen Coco. I'll be high-fiving you. I'll be telling you why you should be doing it and not necessarily why you shouldn't be doing it. So it's really, really cool stuff. But basically, for myself personally, I want to regain control of my own personal well-being, physical and mental, and that way I'll be the best version of myself to really lead my best life and also inspire others to do so as well. So the real heart of this first chapter, the way that she starts out is she starts by asking you to give yourself permission to dream. Sounds really, really dicky, but it's not. It's awesome. So basically, allocate yourself 30 minutes a day. Might be too much, 10 minutes a day. Treat it almost like a routine. Give yourself permission to dream daily. Act as though, you know, it's scheduled in for like you would go to the gym, you know, or like you would go to the yoga class or practice your musical instrument. Allocate yourself out, whether it's 10 minutes, whether it's 30 minutes of uninterrupted time to dream. Let this be your meditation, okay? And it's awesome. So even though I've just started, I've done this before, but I'm doing it again. But basically, the 2 questions to ask yourself, and make sure you've got a pen and paper, 2 questions to ask yourself. What would you do if you could not fail? And what would you do if you had all the time and money needed? Pretty cool questions. So they were, what would you do if you could not fail? And what would you do if you had all the time and money you needed? So basically, I could ask you, what's your greatest dream for this year? And that's not putting it into any context, right? So you, more likely than not, you're going to think smaller. You know, you're going to think realistic. This is basically saying dream big and then dream bigger. Okay, so think of your wildest dream, times it by 100, and think of 100 more dreams just like that, because that's what you're going to chase. But it doesn't have to be, they don't have to all be crazy. But basically, write it down, you know, like write it down what it is that, even if it's not a dream per se, write down what you love, write it down what brings you alive. What is it that sets off that fire in your belly, you know? For some people, it's fashion. For other people, it's animals. For others, it's the wellness industry. You know, there's so many different things that really set people alight. Just because it ignites you doesn't mean it's going to ignite someone else, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't have to please everyone. You just got to start with yourself. Start somewhere, because, you know, if you are living a life of purpose and passion, it's going to be really inspirational to other people, and it will then hopefully set them off, and it's like a domino effect. So basically, start with those 2 questions. So for chapter one, open your heart and dream without limits. First 2 questions that you ask yourself: what would you do if you could not fail? What would you do if you had all the time and money in the world? Now, when you think about your dreams, because it's going to ask you to, because basically in this chapter it asks you to write 101 dreams. Sounds crazy, but you do get warmed up beforehand. But basically, when you think about all the things that you want to do in this world, what you don't have to worry about is how you'll do it. Don't even think about that. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about time. And definitely don't worry about what others will think of you. Doesn't matter. Does not matter what other people think of you, because it's what makes you happy, which is the cool thing about it. Now, before you sit down and start writing, because it asks you, write down 101 dreams. 101. That is that's a lot of dreams. That's a lot. You don't have to write it all down in one night. You don't have to write it down in 10 minutes. Between now and next Monday, start ticking away at it. I know I will. I've already started. But before you even get to that, there's a little exercise, and it's basically to warm you up. And it's all about dreaming big, dreaming deeply, and sharing the dream. So in with each of those, there are some questions, and I will pop pictures up so that you can see for each section. You can jot them down, you can screenshot, you can even message me, whatever. to get them. But basically it's all about, you know, what would you do if you had no money? What would you do if you had no money? What would you do if you had all the money in the world? What would you do if you had all the time in the world? Who would you want to share it with? How would you share it? You know, where would you travel to? Where would you go? Things like that. Little kind of trigger questions just to kind of get you thinking. And then you're going to sit down and you're going to write 101 dreams. So just a bit of a little recap, because I've already been talking for 10 minutes and I'm guaranteed I've lost some of you today. No, I'm not offended, don't worry. I'm doing this just as much for me as I am for anyone who will listen. But basically ask yourself to start, what would you do if you could not fail? What would you do if you had all the time and money you needed? And then sit down and think about the big dreams, the deep dreams, and then sharing the dream. And like I said, I'm going to post pictures. I don't know where right now. And we'll put up pictures somewhere so that you can see, because within dreaming big, within dreaming deeply, and within sharing the dreams, there's some sub questions. And then once you've warmed up your brain and you're dreaming, write 101 different dreams. Now, just to give you a bit of an idea, mine range from anywhere of learning Malay, move to Borneo to rehabilitate orangutans for wild release, to snorkeling the Great Barrier Reef, to learning to snow, to travel the world, visiting different wildlife institutions, to creating the most delicious paleo donut in the world. Exclamation mark, that's a big one for me, to even owning some land so that I can have some chickens and pigs, and to traveling Australia in a renovated EcoBus, to even being an inspirational speaker to empower others to live their best life. So doesn't matter what it is. Could be as simple as learning to surf, or as big as traveling to every single country in the entire world. Whatever it is, it's yours. And if you put it down on paper, it makes it real, you know. So some pretty cool stuff. But remember, when you are dreaming, it's about yourself and it's your own dream life. And whatever this means for you, it's designed for you by you. Okay, so there's no wrong answer. So apologies, this video is much longer than a little bite-sized chunk. The others will be a bit shorter, but, you know, over the weeks you'll also learn a little bit about my story and why it is I'm doing what I'm doing, and also a bit of the journey that I have been on to be where I am today. And also I'd love to hear yours as well. If you've already, kicked some awesome goals and you've achieved some of your dreams, share it. Write it in the comments. I'd love to hear it, because that just, hearing other people chase their goals and achieving that, it's really inspiring, and it's really what kind of keeps me going, and it can be really inspiring for others and keep them going as well. So don't be afraid to share, that's for sure. But on that note, I will let you go. Keep me updated during the week if you want to. Otherwise, I am going to be busy working away on my 101 dreams list. And I will see you here next Monday. Thanks so much, guys. Have a wonderful week. Bye.